welcome to yoga. I'm Joanne. Thanks for coming out to practice today. Let's start in a comfortable seat. So we'll elevate our hips a little bit if you need to, so you can get length through your spine and be comfortable in the seated position for a few minutes as we get started. And then you can cross the legs in a comfortable way, or you could sit in a seat, whatever works best for you. And I encourage you to elevate as much as you need so that you're nice and open and tall. So we'll start in this comfortable seat. Let's bring the shoulders up by the ears. Just give them a good squeeze, create a little tension, and then squeeze them down the back. And then we'll just settle the shoulders away from the ears. You can rest your hands palms down or up. So down is a little more grounding and up is a little more receptive. You could do one of each, whatever feels best for you today. So check in with yourself on that. And then you're going to let the eyes gently close. So we want to be nice and stacked in our spine. So we want our head directly above our spine. So we're going to retract our chin just a little bit because it has a tendency to come forward. So make sure you're just nice and aligned, head above the spine. And then the spine, you want the shoulders above the hips. And a little bit of engagement in the core here. So you're not just hanging and slouching, but a little effort to lift here. But it should be pretty easy. And also watch for overarching in the low back. We don't want to do that either. So we're nice and lifted and tall, grounding our sitting bones on the surface we're sitting on, and feeling the crown of the head stretch toward the sky. Our shoulders are grounding away from the ears. And you might even invite a little lightness into the back of the head, where the muscles connect the neck and the skull. So think about sort of an energetic lift there. And maybe at the corners of the mouth and the eyes, just like a little hint of a smile there. So that energy is lifted at the same time we're grounding in our seat. And then just take a few moments to observe how you feel. Notice if there's anywhere you might be holding some tension in the body. And with each breath, see if you can just soften into this posture a little bit without losing the integrity of the pose. Just try to relax and soften anything that feels tight or constricted. And we'll do that by sort of bringing some more awareness into our breath as it moves in and out of the nose. We're going to kind of slow the breath down a little bit. And again, we don't want to create any more tension, so make sure it's easy as you expand the inhale and completely exhale. And then don't forget to really expand the belly on the inhale and draw it in on the exhale. So we're really breathing from the belly below the navel. Make sure your jaw is relaxed, so maybe your lips are a little bit apart, so you're not holding anything in the jaw. Eyelids and eyebrows are soft. And just expanding the breath comfortably. And you might take this opportunity at the beginning of our practice to set an intention or maybe a dedication for your practice. And then repeat that to yourself 3 times. And that helps us to sort of anchor that into our subconscious mind for our practice. And let's just keep thinking about how we might soften with each out breath. So see if there's anywhere you can release some tension in the body, even if it's just a tiny bit. Even just sitting here, I realize like my fingers are a little, maybe a little tighter or grippier than they need to be. And my abdomen sometimes gets a little tense, trying to maintain that posture. So see if there's anywhere in your body that you can sort of soften the space, soften the tissues. Connecting to that lightness and the energy. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. Just keep working to relax in this nice tall posture. Nice and slowly, we'll let the eyes gently open. As they're closed, keep your gaze nice and soft. Good, and then let's bring the hands down by the side, next to your hips here. And then we're gonna squeeze the shoulders up again, create a little tension, all the way up, and in a big circle, draw them back behind you. So do that again, squeeze up and in, and back and down. One more time, squeeze a little tension, and release. Good. Soften the shoulders. We're gonna inhale, just take one arm up, reach all the way up. Keep that shoulder nice and soft, and we're gonna walk the other hand to the side and just fold. Keep both hips nice and grounded. Getting a nice stretch in the side body. Soften the elbows. No tension here, nice and soft and easy. Let's take a deep breath here. Feeling the ribs stretch. So good to release tension through the ribs. Inhale, lift, lower that arm. Other arm comes up as you inhale. Walk over and fold. And then we're bringing the breath and really feel you're pulling the rib cage the opposite direction to where you're leaning. So creating that dynamic stretch. Deep breath here. And let's inhale, come up and lower the arm. We're going to take the other arm up again, reach. Deep breath over as you fold. And then we're going to kind of sweep forward in front of our mat. So from here, you're going to turn the torso down, lead with your elbow. So really trying to get into the side body and the ribs. Sweep across. Inhale, lift. And come and arrive to your space, and then we'll exhale as we round and reach across. Inhale brings you up. So kind of make this a nice moving meditation. Exhale, close you down. Inhale, lift. And don't forget to complete the breath as you're moving. Getting a nice opening in the rib side. So a lot of times stress builds up in the liver channel, which runs through the ribs there, so we can kind of stimulate that area if you're having a stressful day, and that should help relieve some tension. Let's come up. Of course, yoga always does that. Anyway, inhale, lift, but this area in particular, the rib side. So let's inhale, sweep your arms up. Deep breath in, soften the shoulders, and then we're gonna twist. So take one arm forward and one arm back. Reach out nice and long. You might take your front hand across the front thigh and use that as a little lever to lift you up. Look behind you on your fingertips. So think of length before twist, and we're keeping our hips nice and steady and centered. So we're just twisting in the torso. And take a deep breath. Inhale deeply. We'll use the exhale to unwind, come back to center, and then we'll inhale, sweep it up. Nice deep breath in, soft shoulders, and then we'll exhale and twist the other direction. So reach nice and long. Again, think length first, and then twist. Maybe the hand comes outside of the thigh in the front. Then you're looking over your back shoulder, and we're gonna breathe here for nice deep breath into the ribs again. Good, and then release back to center. Excellent. Let's take the shoulders up one more time, squeeze them up and back, open the chest. Good, and then take your legs out in front of you and just shake them out a little bit. And then lift the flesh from your sitting bones or whatever you're sitting on. You're gonna let the legs be straight, but not locked. And then option is to flex the feet toward the face. This will make it a deeper stretch for the hamstrings. You can soften the knees if you're super tight, so you don't need to straighten the legs, so you could bend the knees. We're gonna inhale, lift. I want you to think about lifting up out of the back, up out of the hips, and then lengthen the torso as if you were gonna take it and lay it flat on your thigh. So we wanna lengthen and keep the spine long. So reach, reach, reach until you can't reach anymore. Keep reaching. As you hinge from the hip, we're lengthening forward. Good, and then let the hands land anywhere they land. So again, we want the back nice and long here, feeling a nice stretch in our hamstrings. And then maybe you can straighten the legs. So listen to your body. You could use a strap here if you want, you don't have to. But I want you to think about growing long from your tailbone. Think about growing up out of the spine, through the crown of your head. So try not to arch, look up at the screen, maybe keep the chin tucked a little bit. As you lengthen, breathe in, grow tall. Notice my shoulders are back and open. And then as you exhale, you just sort of let it go and soften forward. You can sigh out through the mouth if you want. Just slowly opening the hamstrings here. So no rush. You don't have to reach the feet. Let's breathe in again one more time here. Nice deep breath in, grow tall through your spine. And exhale, soften. Fold. Good, let's do one more breath here. And relax. Good, slowly we'll walk our hands back. Good, and then shake the legs out a little bit. Maybe windshield wipe them a little side to side. And then let's come around to all fours onto our hands and knees. You can use a cushion for the knees if you'd like. And then we're gonna stack our shoulders over our wrists. If you wanna take fists, you're welcome to do that. Knees are parallel, feet parallel behind the knees under your hip points. And then we wanna think about engaging the core a little bit. Again, so we're not just hanging out, sagging through the belly, lengthen the tailbone away from the crown. Engage the core a little bit. From your all fours here, we're gonna take a couple cat cows. Let's start there. We're gonna inhale, drop the belly. Now send the tail and crown opposite corners of the room. And then exhale, press up into cat pose. Good, inhale, open, let the belly drop. And exhale, round the spine. Couple more with your breath. Maintaining the integrity of the posture, so keeping the core a little bit active, warming up the spine one more time. In breath and out breath. Let's bring it back to a neutral position. Good, and then we're going to make some big circles. So insides of the elbows should be rotating toward the front of your mat. So that's going to bring the shoulder blades into the back, so they're not hunched up by the ears. So nice and long. And then we're just going to kind of shift forward with the weight and then come through the side. So we're, again, getting into the ribs here a little bit. Push back over the heels, sort of sitting back. And then inhale through the other side, coming forward. So big circles. Keep the core a little bit engaged here, so you're not dropping into your lower back. Careful of that. And then move nice and slowly and mindfully. Keep breathing. Nice deep breaths as you're moving. Good, and then we're gonna pause and reverse direction. So inhale through the other side and exhale as you push back. So kind of free form here. Just make sure you're not, again, pinching the lower back by dropping and sagging in the belly too much. So you want to keep the core a little bit active to protect the low back. Good. Let's do one more circle. Good. And then we're going to come back to all fours. And from here, let's do a couple thread the needles just to open the upper back a bit. So we're going to inhale as we sweep one arm up to the sky, open the chest. As you exhale, you're going to thread through the hand and the knee on the floor and come all the way down to the cheek. Release. So inhale, we're going to rise up. Breathe in, open the chest. Exhale, you're going to twist and come down. And make sure you get that release all the way to the cheeks, so you're stretching the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, reach, and exhale, release. Good, we'll come to all fours and switch sides. Inhale, open, deep breath in. Exhale, come down. Release. Inhale, open. Stretch up and exhale down. Good, and one more time up and down. Good, let's come back to all fours. Good, so from here, we're gonna walk our knees behind our hips just a tiny bit. Take your hands maybe a little bit wider. And then we're gonna bend at the elbows and come down into awkward S pose. So you're gonna engage your core and then just plant your chest right between the hands. Hips a little bit lifted, feet are down, chin is down. Good, and then we're gonna let the legs slide underneath, tops of the feet to the floor, and lift the heart for a low cobra. Elbows are close and pulled back. Open your chest. Working into the back body here, breathe into your belly. Let's take another breath here. You might lift the hands to make sure you're not pressing and powering up through the arms. One more breath. Good, release your hands next to your chest. And then push back here into extended child's pose. You could take something behind the knees if you need. Forehead down. Good, one more side stretch here. Walk the hands to the side. Relax the head. Breathe into the ribs here and into the hips. Good, slowly walk your hands through center and then off to the other side. Relax down and breathe. Good, inhale through center. Good, let's come back up to all fours. Press the mat away from you. Make sure you're nice and aligned, insides of the elbows forward. We're gonna tuck our toes under and take our first trip into downward dog. So toes are tucked, and then slowly you're gonna peel the hips up and then walk your dog. So pedal the feet out. No rush to straighten. Relax the head between the arms. Make sure your elbows are rotating forward. You're using the full surface of your hand on the mat. And feel that energy rising up through the spine and the tailbone to the opposite corner. So we want to feel that length through the spine, openness in the chest. Keep pedaling the feet. Good, and then we're going to slowly walk ourselves up to the front of the mat. Come to a standing forward bend here. Measure about 2 fists between the feet and bend your knees as much as you need so you can fold here. And then I want you to grab opposite elbows and dangle like a pendulum. Let the head come between the arms. Breathe here. You might sigh it out through the mouth and gently sway side to side, feeling your hamstrings here a little bit. But the knees don't have to straighten yet. They can be very bent. Way down. Good. So gentle sway, pendulum side to side. And then we're going to just relax the head and the torso, let go of the elbows. Dangle like a rag doll. Shift the weight forward and back on your feet a little bit. And then once you feel nice and steady there, we're going to tuck the tailbone and roll up one vertebra at a time. Tuck the chin to the chest as you come all the way up to stand in mountain pose. Let's shrug the shoulders and open the chest. Coming into your mountain pose, you want the hips nice and neutral. Heavy suitcases in the hands. Engage your core just a little bit. Standing toward the top of your mat. So good. From here, without moving the spine, keep the spine nice and neutral, nice and active here. We're going to reach the arms back behind you, lift up tall, stretch up through the side body as you ground your shoulders, and then exhale, lengthen the heart forward as you open the arms wide, swan dive, soften the knees, come back down to forward bend, fold over the legs. So again, the knees, you want the knees to bend as much as you need so you can touch your hands down next to your feet. So that's a home base for the hands and feet. And then we're going to inhale into a flat back pose. So bringing the hands on the thighs is a nice starting point. Lengthen the spine here. You could have them on your shins if you're more flexible. Listen to your body, maybe the floor. Good. Exhale and fold. Hands plant. We're going to take a giant step back with the right leg. We're going to drop your back knee and uncurl the toes. And then make sure you've got a nice right angle. The knee is above the heel and the front foot. The back knee can move forward or back depending on flexibility here. Scissor your legs toward the midline as you lift yourself up. Keeping the pelvis neutral here. Lift through the core and stretch the arms up. So you want to feel the feet sort of pulling toward the center. So you're kind of activating the midline lift. Good. Feeling a nice stretch here. If you breathe into the belly, you should feel that deep hip flexor stretch. So we're kind of tucking the tailbone just a tiny bit, but keeping the pelvis really neutral here. Let's exhale, take your hands to your heart in prayer pose. And then from here, we're going to inhale as we grow tall. And as you exhale, you're going to twist toward the front leg side. So just twisting on the torso here. And then maybe you open the arms for a nice, tall, easy twist. Breathe. If you're more advanced and want to do the bind behind the knee, you could do that, hands to heart. Good, let's inhale, lift ourselves back up to center. Open up. Exhale, float the hands down. We're going to frame the foot. And then we're going to stretch our hamstring by walking it back. Hands next to the hips. Draw the toes up to the face, soften this front knee, and lengthen the heart forward. You might use blocks here if you need some props, that's fine. Again, we want to think about the spine being nice and tall and long. You could soften the toes a little if you're super tight, and keep that front knee bent. So softening into your stretch. I don't want you resisting anything, so you should be able to breathe deep here. Anchoring that back sitting bone to the back and lengthening the heart forward. Slowly come back down, plant the foot, plant the hands. Tuck your back toes under and then lift the knee. Take both hips up and then step the left foot back to meet the right, coming to downward dog. Good. From here, optional flow. We're going to take the shoulders above the wrists, spike energy through the heels, and breathe. Notice my hips are in line with my shoulders. Take a breath in. Exhale, drop your knees right where they are. We'll plant the chest between the hands, come down, engage your core. Slide into a cobra as you open the chest. Maybe lift the hands, keep the feet down. Tailbone tucked a little bit. Good. Release the hands and chest and chin. Slowly tuck your toes. You can come through tabletop or straight back to downward dog. Lots of options. Good. So if you're with me on the same side, we're going to bend the knees and take our gaze forward. And then we're going to pull the right leg up between our hands. So you might need to manually reach back and pull it through. That's fine. If you have a little bit of core strength, it's nice to play with that, bend the knees, and try to hug the knee in and step it forward lightly. That's the key, lightly on the feet. Drop the back knee. Again, check out your alignment. Make sure you're nice and square with the front leg. Scissor toward the midline as you lift up. Adjust the back knee if you need and send the arms up. Good, breathe. Shoulders are relaxed away from the ears as your fingers stretch up. Breathing into that back hip flexor again. Nice and neutral in the pelvis. Slowly lower the hands down to your heart. Take a deep breath in as you grow tall. And as you exhale, you're going to twist toward the front knee side. Open the arms out, option 1. Good, option 2 is to bind the elbow outside of the thigh. Press the hands to the heart. Good, nice breath. Let's slowly inhale, take the arms back up to the sky, lift up. Deep breath in, exhale, float the hands down, frame the foot. And then we'll slowly walk it back, draw the toes up, lengthen the heart forward. So again, blocks here might be nice if you're a little more stiff or tall or whatever. You need props. Feel free to use them. So again, I'm pulling this sitting bone to the back as I reach my heart forward. You could soften this foot if that's better for you. Softening with each breath into this pose. Relaxing your hamstring. Beautiful. Let's inhale and walk it forward. Good. Tuck your back toes under. We're going to lift the back knee, and then we're going to just step forward. So you can kind of rock back and step up with the left leg, coming to your forward fold. And then we're going to check in with the legs here. So fold over the legs, tuck the forehead. Dangle the arms as you're ready. Roll yourself up. Tuck your tailbone. Come back to stand in mountain pose. Shrug your shoulders and open the chest. Neutralize here. Good. Arms heavy by the side. Let's inhale and sweep it up. Beautiful. Exhale, swan dive. Soften the knees. Forward bend. Inhale, flat back. Open the chest. Exhale, melt forward. Good. And then soften the knees. Take a giant step back with your right leg. Good. Pivot that back foot down. We're going to walk our hands to the front and pivot the other foot in. So you're in a wide-legged standing forward bend. You might take your blocks under your hands here so you can find some length in the spine. So I want to encourage you to use props if you need them. And then to find length through the spine, if you're super tight or inflexible, you might take a wider stance in the feet to get you closer to the floor. And if you're more flexible, you might take your legs a little closer. So make sure it's comfortable so you can lengthen your spine here. We're going to take our right hand in front of our face on the floor. And then I want you to really connect both feet and feel nice and balanced in the feet here. And then we're going to pull our left arm open like a bow and arrow and twist on the spine. Again, try to keep your feet even and just reach that arm up. So I'm not really twisting from my hips, I'm twisting from my torso. Good. The neck can be looking toward the floor, the side, or the sky. Just don't drop your head. Keep the neck and the spine together. Good. Slowly, let's take that arm down, bring it in front of your face, and we'll switch twists on the other side. So pull that other arm up and open. Again, stay grounded in the feet and the hips. Are not moving, just twisting on the spine. Finding that nice deep breath. Good, and then slowly let's come back down. Take your hands again under each shoulder. And we're going to open our feet out to the side. So open the feet to the corners, so just open the hips a little bit to the corners. And then let's do our little crab walk. So we're going to bend one knee, walk your hands to one side. Good. And then you're going to, this other leg is nice and grounded. Make sure this doesn't bother your knee. And you're just sinking into that inner thigh stretch now. Let's inhale, come through center. And exhale, walk to the other leg, bending that knee, extending the other leg. So your hips kind of come back a little bit. Inhale through center. Let's come to the first side here. We're going to pause for a moment. And then if you want, option is to come onto the extended foot's heel and open the foot up a little bit for a little deeper stretch. That's optional. You may not need that. And then come through center. We'll take the other side one more time. Hello. And then maybe lifting that heel to get a little deeper stretch. Good. And then come through center. Good. And then bring your feet parallel once again, hands under the shoulders. I want you to ground your feet one hand at a time to the hip, and then lengthen your spine as you lift and hinge up. Come up nice and slow. Take your time. Excellent. I'm going to move my little cushion out of the way. And then heel toe your feet back to the center of the mat. Good. And then let's take a, I just made us come back to center, but I'm going to take our feet out wide again. Sorry. And then we're going to turn one foot out. So your one foot is extended to the front of the mat. The back foot, we're going to angle it up a little bit, kind of toward the corner. So a comfortable stance, heel to arch alignment or heel to heel. And then we're lifting up nice and tall. I'm still facing the long edge of the mat. I'm going to add the arms, lengthen the arms out to the sides, soften the shoulders, and allow the hands, the fingers to stretch. Shoulders are grounded. Now you're going to gaze to the front hand, to the front leg where the foot is open. You're going to breathe in. We're going to take the hips and bump them to the back of the mat. Good, and then lengthen through the side, reach until you can't reach anymore, and then just tip the torso so the hand lands anywhere on the leg, and the top arm stretches up. So I'm trying to keep my chest open, and I'm stacking my hips, so I'm not rounding here, and I'm really using the side body again to create lift in the pose. So lifting up through the top arm. You can always take the top arm out if you want by placing it behind the back. And I want you to keep the chest nice and open. And again, the gaze can be down to the side or up. Just keep the neck and the spine together. Good, breathe here. Let's take one more breath in triangle pose. Good, and then when you're ready, you're gonna ground your feet. They should be pretty grounded. And you're gonna lift up through the torso side. Lift your arms up, use that strength to lift up, open the arms, lower them down. Excellent. Turn that front foot in. We'll switch sides. We're gonna turn the back foot out. Again, check the alignment. This back foot's gonna angle up a little bit. Feel to arch here to heel. Hips face the long edge. Add the arms when you're ready. Soften the shoulders, lengthen through the fingers. Gaze to the front hand. Let's breathe in. Good. Bump the hips to the back of the mat, just kind of shifting the hips back. And then exhale when you are ready. You're going to reach, reach, reach until you can't reach anymore. And then just tip the torso, hand to leg, top arm up or behind the back. We're trying not to lean. We're not using this leg to lean on. We're lifting through the pose. So you technically should be able to sort of release the arm from the leg and maintain the pose. So a lot of strength here. Breathe. Both feet nice and firmly rooted. Lots of core strength here in triangle. Good. Let's take one more breath. Good, and slowly inhale, we're gonna lift up. Use the torso, good, lower the arms by the side, nice work. And then we're gonna turn that foot in. Now we're gonna aim our toes to the corners of the mat. Good, and then we're gonna sink into our hips. So we're gonna challenge our quads a little bit, coming into a bit of a plie. Feet nice and open, knees open. Don't let the knees collapse inward. Keep them nice and open, so engaging the outer thigh here. Connect to your breath. When you're ready, we're going to take goddess arms, cactus arms, and then we're opening the chest. So I want you to kind of squeeze the shoulder blades back. Palms should be right in line with your torso. Good. And then you can take this deeper if you want more of a challenge, or up a little bit. So whatever works for you. We're going to do a little bit of a flow in our goddess. Let's breathe in. Good. And then exhale, we're going to take a forearm to the thigh and reach the top arm over. Good. Inhale, come through center. Exhale to the other side. So again, try not to lean here, just using our side strength. Inhale through center. And then let your breath guide you. Exhale, reach. Inhale. And exhale. Now it's a lot of work. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Come through center. Let's do one more time if we can. Exhale, reach. Anytime you need a break in the practice, feel free to take one. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach. Last time. And exhale, reach. Nice. Inhale, center. Lower the arms. Let's straighten through the legs. Ooh, nice work. Heel toe, the feet back to center. Good. Shake out the hips a little bit. Good. And then let's do one more standing posture here. And do one more little twist. So here you can have the feet about a hip width apart. If you're comfortable with this, you can have the big toes touch and the heels out just a little outside edges of the feet or parallel to each other. So that's a little more of an advanced stance. So you can keep the feet hip width, that's fine. We're gonna swing the arms up by the ears, soften the shoulders, and then we're gonna sink into our hips. So we want the hips over the heels and the feet stay parallel, the knees stay parallel. So whichever stance is best for you. We're gonna take the hands to the heart in prayer pose. We're gonna breathe in and we're gonna twist. So you can do that same twist we did before. So keep your knees together. They're gonna wanna splay. So see if you can keep them together and just twist the torso, maybe open the arms. More advanced, you can again take the elbow outside of the thigh, hands to heart. So again, try to keep the knees even wherever you are. Good, keep the tailbone tucked a little bit. Good, let's release the twist, inhale, lift, and straighten the legs, good. Lower the arms and shake it out a little bit. We'll try the other side. Good, so check the alignment of the feet, soften the knees a bit, so we're sinking into our legs. We wanna keep our shoulders and stacked above our hips, and as we sink, we're not leaning forward, we're trying to drop our hips over our heels, so we're like sitting in a chair. But then what common thing that happens here is we arch the back, so we want to make sure we're keeping our tailbone tucked. So just look out for that. Adding the arms, sinking, good, breathe in. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Good, breathe in. Exhale, twist to the other side. Try to keep those knees together as you twist. Maybe open the arms. Maybe elbow outside thigh. Deep belly breaths. Good, and then slowly release back to center. Take the arms up. Woo, and lift. Good, exhale, lower the arms. Shrug your shoulders. Shake out the legs a little bit. Excellent, let's do a balance pose. So let's take the tree. So you're gonna start in your mountain pose. You're gonna fix your gaze anywhere that's not gonna move. And we're gonna shift our weight to one leg. So it's nice to envision roots growing down into the earth from the sole of your foot. And then fixing your gaze anywhere that's not gonna move. So I'm gonna shift my weight to my standing leg to start. I'm also gonna make sure that I'm not locking my knee out. So make sure there's a little micro bend in the knee joint. Good, and then when you feel steady, you take the other sole of the foot to the ankle with the toe down. You could use a wall here too. You could use the calf. Don't use your knee or the thigh, depending on how slippy your pants are. So activate toward the midline, hands to heart when you're ready. Stretch your arms up whenever you feel steady. Breathe. Connect to your core, your foundation. Feel that energetic lift as you're grounding at the same time. Good, and you might take your arms out wider, that's okay. Whatever feels good for you. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Breath long and smooth. Good, if you fell out, don't worry about it, just try again. And again, we're sort of activating the foot and the leg so we find that lift. Good. And let's slowly transition, bring the hands back down to the heart. Release the leg, and we'll shake it out. Excellent, let's switch sides. So we'll start, fix your gaze, imagine those roots. Shift the weight, make sure your leg is a little bent, straight but not locked. Engage through your core whenever you feel steady, ankle, calf, or thigh. Feel that activation toward the midline, hands to heart. Extending your arms, keep the shoulders relaxed. Extend your fingers. Activate through the whole pose. Connecting to your breath. Feeling that sense of that energetic lift through the back of the head, eyes, mouth. Good, maybe we've got one more breath, two more breaths here. Good, and nice and slowly, take the hands to your heart, release the leg, and then we'll shake it out. Good. Okay, let's come down to the floor. So you're welcome to come down through a squat. You might place a roll under your heels if you like, or you can just come down to the floor however you like. If you're coming through a squat, I'm going to reach my arms out, soften the shoulders, and lower my torso. Again, drop the hips, and then maybe arms come inside of the thighs, and maybe I come into a full squat if that's comfortable. I'm pulling my knees into my arms and I'm pressing out at the same time. Good, dropping the tailbone, lengthening the spine, chin tucks a little bit. So good to practice squatting. And then we'll slowly come down to the floor. Good, I'm gonna face you guys. So using your prop to sit up on, your blanket or whatever, if you need it, please use that. I'm gonna skip it. And then I wanna show you all something I learned recently that I think is super useful for stress and for relaxing the whole nervous system. I quite frankly was sort of shocked. I was like, how did I not know about this before? So anyway, I wanted to share a little bit of it with you, and it's you can get pretty extensive with it, but we'll just do like a brief introduction to it. So make sure you're sitting nice and tall and relaxed. And then you're going to take your hand to your ear, and you're just going to kind of check in the ear. You're going to pull it a little bit away from the head, kind of around, go around the whole ear, and just notice how it feels. Just notice the quality of it, if it's supple or stiff, whatever it might be. So checking in with one ear, and then switch sides and check in with the other ear, and notice if one side is a little stiffer than the other. Just good to kind of observe that. So what we're doing here is just sort of checking in. The vagus nerve, the auricular branch of the vagus nerve runs through the ear here. So, and the vagus nerve is one of the biggest nerves in our whole body that innervates all of our organs, internal organs. So it's really responsible for that parasympathetic response, that rest and digest nervous system. So we're kind of activating it through the branch of the ear where it runs through the ear. So that's sort of just checking in, noticing if one side is tighter or stiffer than the other. And then we're going to take your index finger, and you're going to go into the hollow of the ear. So the top of your ear here, you're going to swipe around under the ridge and go right there. So what you're going to do is gently move the skin over the bone. So you're not really pushing. We're just gently moving the skin in a circular motion around the ear. So it's really a soft and a gentle movement. You can close the eyes and just see how that feels. You might take a sigh. You might notice the body calming down. And you'll notice that maybe one side is more reactive to this than the other. So just kind of a gentle circular motion there, and then maybe switch sides. So again, you're going into the top and then swooping down under the ridge, that little hollow. Your fingers should fit in there. And then again, you're just moving the skin. So you're not pushing hard at all. You're trying to kind of just move the skin over the ear, over the bone there. Pretty remarkable stuff. So if you've had a stressful day or any kind of stress or even digestive symptoms, this could possibly help alleviate. Such a powerful nerve that runs through the whole body. So, and then good. And then so just a little activation there. And then one more thing we'll do, which we kind of started with, and I'm going to do one ear at a time, is again, take the ear and you're just going to kind of pull it away from the head. So just a gentle tug, and you're going to go like in each direction. So you're going to kind of go around the ear and just a little gentle pull away from the head. Should be comfortable and easy. And then you might, if you kind of do this a little bit more, you might notice a change in the suppleness of the ear, and then switching. And you might notice one side again is more reactive than the other. Just a nice gentle tug and pull. Super easy. Good. And then there are several other exercises you can do to stimulate that. There's a point behind the ear where the ear and the head come together that you can also just, again, moving the skin up and down and maybe to the back. So there's a little activation you could do there as well on either side. I don't want to take too much time with it, but that's a nice sort of introduction to how you can sort of stimulate the vagus nerve through the ear for calming anxiety and stress. So hopefully that was useful and helpful. Good. So from here, let's slowly come down. Just checking the time. Let's come down. We'll do a few stretches on the back. So now that we're all chilled out, let's come down to the floor, slowly transition. Use your core to come all the way to the mat. And let's bend the knees and place our feet on the floor. And make sure your neck is neutral. So use a prop under your head if your chin is lifting so that it's not lifting. Good, and then feet are on the floor, legs are parallel, and we're gonna cross one leg on top of the other. So ankle over thigh, figure four on the back. So whichever leg is on top, reach that same arm through the hole and connect behind the other thigh. You can relax the bottom leg. We're gonna flex the top foot a little bit to protect the knee. And then you're going to draw that toward your heart with keeping the tailbone down. You might use your elbow into that thigh to deepen the stretch if that's comfortable. You might not. And then you're going to breathe into your hip here. So you can kind of gently shimmy side to side, keeping the tailbone grounded. We're not lifting the back up. We're just kind of pushing and pulling the leg a little bit just to shift through the hip here. Through the stretch. Keep the breath moving. Good, let's take one more breath here. Good, and release the leg, uncross, unwind. Maybe take your arms out to a T and windshield wiper your knees gently side to side. Coming back up and switch to cross the legs. Other leg on top. Same arm as the top leg reaches through the hole. Connect behind the thigh, relax the bottom foot, flex the top foot. Excuse me. Draw that toward your chest. Maybe elbow presses that thigh away. And then you might shimmy just a little bit, push and pull with the legs. Keep the breath moving. Nice and deep. Be gentle with the stretch, so no forcing. Should feel a nice stretch, but no pain. Good, let's take one more breath over here. Good, release the leg and unwind. Arms out to a T once again. One more time, we'll windshield wiper our legs. Good. And let's squeeze the knees into the chest. Hold on to your shins. And just massage your back, make some circles with your knees. And reverse direction. And then ask yourself as we get ready to relax if there's any last posture that you need to sort of, that you feel like your body would enjoy doing. So your yogi's choice, whatever you'd like. You might want to do a happy baby. You might, if it's in your practice, you might do a shoulder stand. You might just do some reclining twists. You might just be ready to relax. That's fine too, wherever you are. So if you have any tension at all in the back, lower back, you can bend the knees and place your feet about a mat width apart. Let the knees fall toward the midline. And if your back feels pretty good, you can stretch your legs out, feet a mat width apart. You might take a roll under your knees if you want a little supported bolster under your knees, which is also nice to release the back for your final resting position. Again, make sure the neck is neutral, and then let the arms splay out from the side, palms up. Let's gently rock your head a little side to side. Make sure the neck is neutral. We'll come back to center. You're allowing the fingers to curl toward the hand as they relax. Let's open the mouth a little bit wide and relax the face, relax the jaw. So let the lips be a little bit parted. Eyelids are heavy and soft. Brow is soft. Back to your breath as it moves in and out of the body, nice and easy. Not forcing anything at all, just let it be nice and relaxed. Just keep letting go, keep relaxing with every exhale you take. Notice your body grow heavier and heavier, sinking deeper and deeper into the mat with each out breath. Relax, relax, relax. Let's stay in that nice relaxing pose. Slowly let the bell bring our body a little more aware. And just slowly wiggle fingers and toes. And gently rock your head a little bit side to side. And wherever you are, let's inhale and take the arms up overhead on the floor behind you. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Give yourself a nice full body stretch. Reach, reach, reach away from the navel. Deep breath in, and then we'll bend our knees and roll onto the right side of your body to a fetal pose for a moment. And take the time here just to let the heart fill with blood, and we're going to notice any changes in the body and mind between now and the beginning of our practice. And you might also recall if you set an intention or dedication for your practice. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to use your left hand to push yourself back to a comfortable seat. We'll meet in easy pose. Again, sit up on your prop if you need it. Nice and tall. Good, and then let's inhale. We're going to sweep the arms up together. Deep breath in. To gather some good energy, we're going to seal our hands at the top. Lower them down to our heart. And then bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. We'll bow to each other. Namaste.